It's been quite a 4 months, really. I mean, right at the beginning, I found it really tough because I was being asked questions and come up with information, and that meant I kind of had to peel back everything and have a look at what things were really like, and so I found that really tough, and I kept having to remind myself, but this is the basis we start from. So um so I did stop crying in the end, which is good. So and then of course Emma's been brilliant. She's so easy to talk to and very sensible and matter of fact and stuff. So um and just started picking things off, really. I mean, one of the things is, I remember saying, I'm not going to be one of these who turn around and go, oh, my turnover's now 500,000 in after 4 months. And that I knew it was never going to be like that. And Emma was going, no, no, we just do everything that you need. We do it your way. And I can see how far I have come, mainly in knowledge about the business and understanding where I'm going a lot more, definitely, and realizing that I came from quite a low base. We didn't have procedures for things. We didn't have I wasn't really tracking an awful lot and stuff like that. So feel like sometimes I feel like I've not come far, and then Emma reminds me of just how much I've done. And the first time, and it happened quite quickly. And one of the things my husband said as well is he could notice a change in me, that I seemed better. I feel like I found my business head again, um, and that I could see the future. I could see where the business would go. I could see what we needed to do, and I wasn't feeling overwhelmed about it, because when I did feel like that, I'd kind of pull it back and then know I was chatting to Emma next week or something, and I know that she just talking it through with her, and then we'd come up with solutions, and then we move on. So I don't know where I'd been if I hadn't been doing this course for the last 4 months. If I really, really honestly look at it, I really don't know. So it has been very good, and it's what I've needed.
What were things like for you? What were the challenges, the frustrations? Because I mean, obviously it's only 4 months ago, but you've just said in reality there's quite a lot changed. So what were things like at the time? What were the frustrations that you were going through?
Whereas before, I feel like we were doing the work, we were charging a price, and I didn't really have a handle on that price. And I'm still working on that pricing structure, definitely. But now I feel like I know what they should be paying for. I know what I've quoted for, and I shouldn't be giving more than that. And realize just how much scope creep has been part of our everyday working life
Mm.
with the business. And because I'm having those conversations, and I'm being very honest with the people who I'm working with, and obviously they were not a big firm anyway, I'm being very honest with them what I'm doing and things that we need to look into, and they're already coming back and going, yeah, we shouldn't be doing this, and that client really pushes a lot, and so they're much more aware, and they're bringing a lot more to my attention. Before, I never really had a track on fees, my whole fee structure, for how much I was charging for my cash flows and things like that. And I've got like work in progress spreadsheets up and set up now. I'm tracking quotes a lot more. So we're now thinking of ways of how we can make sure that everyone's aware of what I'm quoting, rather than me just doing it and going, oh, we're just charging them and can you do this? And then they're not quite aware of what they should and shouldn't be doing, making sure that that's going to come in next. They will know exactly what someone's been quoted, so they know that if someone starts saying, oh, can you do this, or I don't think I could do that, can you do that for me, like, okay, we can, but this is the fee.
What's what's next for you then in terms of taking the business forward?
A lot of it is still putting in place, so getting some procedures in place so I can move some of the work over to other people. It's going to be fairly slow up to about February, March, because we are a bit behind. We're further than we were last year along the line, but we've still got a lot to do. February, March, I'm going to be focusing mainly on the pricing. We're going to get pricing software in so that we can standardize pricings. I did the course with Jenny on Earn More, which was, and there was no one else on the course. So it's like having 2 hours of extra coaching. It was fabulous. She was really good. So obviously we could just tailor it just to what I needed. And she came up with some of it. The solutions are quite simple in a way, like how to measure scope creep and things like that. And but it makes you say, oh, that's a great way of doing it. So we're going to be we've obviously got Making Tax Digital coming in from April, and our pricing does tend to be seasonal. So it goes cyclical, it goes around the tax years. So April will be the major change in the pricing structure and the change in how we deal with the clients as well, on when we expect work, deadlines, and what we would do for them. So trying to automate some things and having tools at our hands so that it takes away some of the work that we just keep doing the same over and over again, to make that easier. So that Anita will be doing that, and Maya's going to be bringing everyone on to Making Tax Digital, that we need to move on, because she did that with income records. And also checking all our software's compatible. So,
well, look, I mean, it's fantastic just seeing the change in you for a start, actually, from our earlier conversations. That's for sure. And fantastic just to hear the stuff that you say. Obviously, we want great results for people, and it sounds like it's certainly going in the right direction. So I'm thrilled for that. What kind of advice would you give to other accountants?
I did try something on my own before. I tried another group, and that I didn't go into it fully. But also the style, I realised, didn't suit me. I also tried doing it on my own, and that didn't work either. And I think when I saw your stuff that you did with the ACCA April, May, it came across at the right time. It's very practical. The language is good. As I said so at the time, you couldn't have described the situation I was in if you hadn't seen lots of people like me. So that's what I remind myself, because it's very easy to feel like you're failing. And then you suddenly realize, well, there's lots of us failures out there then. So, and you know how to turn us around. But the other thing is, it's just to do something. What I really realize is, yes, this feels right for me, but it's also about, you've just got to do something and latch onto it. So this does work, but it also, you have to make it work. You have to work with it. And I've been in the right space to be very frank with myself as well as others about where I am, about wanting to move forward, about making the time in a time where I'm very time poor. My life is hectic, not just with work. So, and you make the time and you make it happen. And I feel confident that it will work. So I would say to people, you've got to work with it and it will work. I would, if anyone wanted support, I would say you've got to just make that leap and say, I am prepared to do something, and then work with it.
Wonderful. Nicola, yeah, thank you. As I said a minute ago, it's always wonderful and uplifting to hear such stories, and everyone's different. I know you said at the outset it wasn't going to be a story of growing by 500,000, but actually every improvement is massive, isn't it? And if it's lightening that load mentally, if it's freeing up a bit of time, it all tots up, doesn't it? And so I'm thrilled that you're moving in the right direction.